What's up? I'm Ericwvr with Weaver Lawn Service. A lot of people ask me, what steps did I take to start my lawn service? How did I start my lawn service? Well, with me, I started my lawn service about 12, 13 years ago. It's been some years ago. And the reason I got into the lawn service, having a lawn service, was kind of an accidental thing. The truth of the matter, I was working, suppose I was at a steel foundry by the name of NIPCO, and they hired me to be, I'm an electrician by trade. And over a shorter period of time after I started working at this place, to be truthfully, there was a lot of discrimination going on there. There was I was hired to replace the senior electrician that was retiring, and a temporary service sent me there. And when I got there, I met all the qualifications, but they saw I was black. And long story short, a lot of discrimination was taking place with me, and like anybody else that's got intelligence, I kept a log of everything they did, the racial stuff they did to me, and kept it documented, dates, times each incident happened. And pushing forward, they took my electrical position from me and put me on a lower level mechanical maintenance position on third shift. And I kept, running me in and out of the office for nothing. And I never had any complaints about the work that I did. But anyway, I had to go out and get outside sources to help me because I was being discriminated against so much. So I got the NAACP involved in my local area, and I got a good civil rights attorney from Houston, Texas. And long story short, I proved my case and I won that lawsuit. But in the meantime, while I was not working at this particular place, I had to do something because I was newly married and had kids, and I had to do something to keep money coming into the household. So I got to thinking, and I was talking to my mother, and I thought about a lawn service. And I liked the idea of a lawn service because I've been, mowing my grandparents' yard, my parents' yard since I've been 9 years old, me and my brothers. And anyway, I went out and I found the lady. It was in a publication here called The Peddler, and she had a trailer and a zero turn for sale. So I bought it, and it was relatively cheap. She was, it was a blessing. She was moving, and she was letting this, it was a little 14-foot trailer. Still have that trailer to this day. And it was a rather cheap zero turn. And all she wanted, her $1,500 for the trailer and the zero turn. So that was a steal. So I bought it, and I also bought me a used truck. A man that I've known me my whole life. He was selling a '72 Chevrolet down the street from my mother. And as I said, I've known this man my whole life. It was a good truck, and I watched him drive this truck all my youth. So I bought the truck. So I had a truck, a 14-foot trailer, and a zero turn. And also, the lady that I bought the trailer and zero turn for, she had two accounts, that a lawyer's office and a retirement home, a small retirement home. And she asked me would I want those accounts, and I told her yes, I very much like the accounts. So she took me to each location and told them that she had sold the equipment to me, and she was moving, and I would be a good person to take over her duties of the lawn service. So that was a complete blessing. I got a lot of people is not that fortunate. I got a retirement home, and I had a lawyer's office. The lawyer's office paid me $50 per cut, and I ended up having to let that lawyer go because the property was well worth way more than that. It was worth $100 a cut. So I charged them $100 a cut, and over time, and he didn't want to do that. And that makes you mad. Here he is charging $75, $100 an hour for his time, but he didn't want to pay me $100 for going out there mowing his rather large business and doing the hedges. So we had to part ways. But the retirement home, I kept it for a while, and it was paying me $800 a month to do this retirement home. So I had a pretty quick income coming in from those two properties. But over time, a lot of people, my business grew fast because of word of mouth. I made up me some business cards, and went to Vistaprint, made me a cheap website, and that website got a ton of business for me for some years. I say many years, until I've upgraded my website. But you do what you can do when you're at an infant state of any business. You got to crawl before you can walk. Anyway, I made me some nice business cards, designed them myself through Vistaprint. That's a online platform where you can design business cards, websites, whatever you want to market your business very cheap. And when I got the cards, I started passing them out, pinning them on whatever board that would allow me to pin them on, like restaurants and gas stations, different places, laying out cards. I'd ask for permission. They'd let me lay my cards out. And a lot of people would look at the retirement home and ask who was doing the property, and they would give them my phone number. So my business grew rather fast over word of mouth. And that's the thing. If you're starting a lawn service, it is a very lucrative business, if you do good work and you do the little things. A lot of times people look at the little things that you do. Like if you see paper on the ground, it don't take but a second to pick it up. Even if you did not throw it down, it don't take but a second to pick the paper up. People look at that. If you weed eat places that you figure people normally wouldn't weed eat, you edge the property really good, and you manicure the property. In other words, treat that property as if it's your own. But over a year's time, I grew from those two accounts, the nursing home, retirement home, nursing home, and the lawyer's office. I grew from 2 properties in the course of a year to over 60 properties. The majority being residential. And what I do now is I'm trying to do all residential, and I've gotten away from doing commercial properties, but it's strictly residential for me, because you get your money right there. You don't have to wait a month to get your money. And for some people, a month, for me, anybody else, a month is a long time to get your money. But residential, I have my business set up where I'm doing a lot of properties every week, and I'm doing a lot of properties every other week. And I schedule out my work where our crews go out and we do so many properties this week, and then so many properties the next week. And anyway, business have just grown out of control over the past couple of years. But the secret to growing your lawn service, as I said, you cannot beat. Cards are good, business cards are good, flyers are good, door hangers are good. And if you can afford to shoot a TV commercial, that is excellent. But a lot of people can't afford to shoot a TV commercial and spend $1,000 or $1,500 to shoot for them to play maybe a 20-second commercial multiple times a day. But word of mouth by far is the old-fashioned way, but it's still, in my opinion, one of the best ways to grow your business. Take pictures of the properties that you do. That's what I do. And I have pictures of some of the properties I do on my website. I suggest, to anybody to do that. Take pictures, before pictures and after pictures, and then build you a cheap website and put those pictures on your website in the form of like a carousel where people can see the different pictures you have of the properties you do. And every town have cheap publications. Here we have one called The Peddler. Craigslist, put your get as many eyes on your business as you can in the form of website, business cards, and word of mouth. And as you do each property really well, and spend time on each property, manicuring that property, showing pride in your work, the people will eventually say, Jesus, he takes good care of my property. He does the property as if it's his own. And that's what you want. You want people to have good things to say about you. And you want people to go out and tell others about the good work that you do. A lot of times we get business by people simply stopping by, noticing work that we do, and they'll ask that owner, would you mind telling me who does your yard? They really do good work. And do you think they would mind if you gave me their number? We pick up so much business like that. And sometimes a lot of these lawn service won't show up. You wouldn't believe how many people I pick up because they tell me their lawn service will not, they come when they want to come. You can't do that. You have to be courteous, polite to everybody, and you have to show up when you tell them you're going to show up. I pride myself in that. Show up when you tell people you're going to show up. Be a man or woman of your word. And as my grandfather used to say a long time ago, a man's word is his bond. If your word ain't good, people know you ain't good. So try to do what you say. But anyway, word of mouth, business cards, door hangers really work well in growing anybody's lawn service or any other service. If you can't start out buying Echo and Steel equipment, you don't have to do that. You can find really good equipment on Craigslist, or you can find really good equipment to hold you over from pawn shops. I started out by getting weed eaters, hedge trimmers, and all that at pawn shops. You can get them real cheap at a lot of these pawn shops, but you got to crawl before you can walk. Get the equipment used. If you can afford new, get new. If you can't, get equipment used. You can find zero turns on Craigslist all day long for in any area you live in. But start out small. Even if you got to use a push mower, when you start getting money generated, and money generating is coming in, then you can go out and start purchasing more equipment. Upgrade equipment as often as you can. Every year, add on, buy more weed eaters, buy more hedgers, more trimmers, just add on to your business. And always keep sharp blades. That's a pet peeve of mine, going in a property and with dull blades. It's nothing like sharp blades to keep your client's property looking well, and it helps you in the long run. But anyway, that's how I started, and I hope I gave some people, anybody looking at some value. If you've been wondering how to start a lawn service, follow my guidelines and you'll be successful. It's not hard to, in your first year to make $50,000, $60,000 a year in this business. That's very doable. But if you keep pushing, you will be successful. Do everybody's business, every customer's house, a home, a business, as if you own that home or business. Take pride in everything you do. Start out cheap, by buying used equipment, and grow your business like that. But the better you do the client, that reflects on you and your work ethic, and that will get you a ton of work. Go to Craigslist, get edges, weed eaters, trimmers, even zero turns, and as your business becomes more and more successful and you grow, then start incorporating in some new equipment. And just remember, keep adding on to your business every year. And before you know it, you have a full-fledged six-figure business. It doesn't take long, and when we all gone, grass is going to still be growing. Anyway, God bless whoever sees this video, and I hope it helped anybody that's looking for how to start a lawn service. Jesus Christ has been good to us all. If you hadn't accepted the Lord, make that your step make it your primary business to accept the Lord. He's been good to us. Until the next telecast, this is Eric Weaver, Weaver Lawn Service. Later.